Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Marvel Studios Echo. This is a brand new series, literally 5 episodes long, all released on the same day last week. I wanted to I knew I could have done it on the day it released, but I didn't really have the time to watch all 5 episodes. And normally I just watch one episode of a new series just to get the feel for it. But since they released all of them at once, not week by week, I decided, well, I'm going to watch them all. And it took me some time, so I decided, well, let's just give it a few days and I'll make it my next available episode once I finish. So this is obviously from 2024, it's brand new, and this spins out of the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus. So you don't necessarily need to have watched that to enjoy this, to understand what's going on, but it helps. Also, the character has its origins in the comics within the Daredevil comic series. She premiered, gosh, I'm trying to think what year it was, but she's created by David Mack and Joe Quesada, and she is sort of like how Daredevil is blind. Well, Echo, Maya Lopez is her character's name, played by, I'm going to say this wrong, Alaqua Cox. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I haven't heard anybody say the name in a while, and so my brain just goes syllables and throws it in an order and an inflection that feels right, I guess. But Alaqua Cox plays Maya Lopez, and she is deaf. And so this is not a show you can necessarily just have on in the background. You need to look. The subtitles are on for a number of scenes. You do not need to turn them on, but if you do, then you'll just have more subtitles. But for the entire show, but there's certain scenes, specifically anything that features her in the conversation, it has subtitles. So for those of you who do not know American Sign Language, and I do not, although I'm learning a little bit, but I'm sure it's going to completely be retained in my brain beyond today, I'm sure. Not. So what we get here, is this a superhero adventure? Is this a street level kind of, yeah. Is it like a street level hero kind of thing? No, and no. But also kind of yes. I'm not going to spoil any big twists and turns. But if you know where she comes from, the first episode does a really good job of sort of giving you her origin story, but not giving everything away. There's a lot to learn about Maya over the course of the series. All those episodes, by the way, run about, looks like 51 minutes in the first episode and as little as 36 in the final episode. So it's a big swing of time stamps for each of the episodes. The final episode pretty much is responsible for wrapping things up, of course. But there is also a mid-credit sequence that you'll want to watch that very much sets up what's to come with a certain blind superhero that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. Or actually, not just necessarily him, but for New York in general. Let's just say the superhero central kind of city. The future of New York. So it's something that's been explored in the comics, even in recent years. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal how it finishes. But Maya's story here is pretty well self-contained. Whether she shows up in the future or not, I don't know. There's a possibility. But for the most part, this basically just gives you an idea of who she is, where she's from, and what makes her special. And again, a lot of these superhero stories that you find with Marvel are not necessarily about who can punch the hardest. They're not exactly who has the biggest superpower. Maya is a skilled fighter, an incredibly skilled fighter. She is a girl who has lost a lot, a girl I say that only because she was a girl when she lost a lot, but she's a woman who now sort of channels that energy, that anger, that frustration, the kind of thing that you normally get with a lot of superhero or supervillain stories, where the hero or villain, the person with power, they lose somebody. Like Clark Kent, lost his father. Batman lost his parents. Spider-Man lost his Uncle Ben. Or depending on the MCU, well, you know who he lost there. And he gets to, well, depending on the Spider-Man you're talking about, of course. But you get this kind of built-in trope that says, hey, something bad happened to you. Are you going to channel your power that you have, that great power, great responsibility? Are you going to get vengeance? Or are you going to seek justice? And when we meet Maya as an adult, she is an assassin working for the most powerful crime lord in New York City. And those Marvel fans who know who that is, well, I'm going to say it because it's not, if you don't know who he is, I'm not really spoiling anything. The Kingpin, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, who is just always excellent in his performances as the Kingpin. You saw him in the Daredevil series on Netflix, and he continued, and also in the Kingpin, in the Hawkeye series with Jeremy Renner, and also Kate, played by Haley Steinfeld. That was kind of that weird, they bringing the Kingpin into the regular MCU, not just the Netflix series. He continues. Okay, honestly, if you've seen the trailers, you're like, he's back. But how is he back? Because certain things happened in the Hawkeye series between Maya and the Kingpin that seemed pretty final. No, we get a little bit of explanation on that. But for the most part, this is, while we do see some backstory with the Kingpin, a lot of this is just Maya struggling between doing what's right and doing what she feels is her right to do, because she's been wronged in so many ways. And it's it's a story about family, about ancestors, which is a big deal when it comes to a lot of Native American nations. This is the focus. The tribe that's featured in this is the Choctaw Nation, based out of Oklahoma, pretty much. I don't know if the town in which most of this story takes place in Tama is a real place or not, but I'm sure somebody knows. I just didn't look it up. I literally just finished watching it and stepped in front of the camera. So either way, this is a very Choctaw Nation is a very real Native American community, people, and Marvel gives a huge thanks for allowing them to consult and to make use of their people and culture in telling this story. So there's a lot of, I don't know how much is superhero made up and how much is really part of the mythology and legends of the people, or if it's a big mix. So let's just say that family and history and the ancestors are not just a metaphor in this story. There's a little bit that contributes to who Maya is, who Echo is, that we learn throughout this thing. So, and it results in a pretty big finish. Now, just so you know, in case you weren't aware, this is for mature audiences only. There's a little bit of language. There's a lot of bloody violence. So it is a bit more intense. Alaqua, I'm pretty sure, hopefully I said that right again. Alaqua is, I believe she was an MMA fighter. And yeah, she's missing a leg. I'm sorry, and it feels like I'm missing a leg the way I am standing. I almost fell over. She is truly, it's not like a special effect. She literally is missing a leg from below her knee on her right leg, I think. So yeah, she's a fighter, and she is disabled. Doesn't seem to be the right word for a woman like this, because she is much more capable physically than I'm pretty sure I am in every way. So yeah, so she's a fighter who has become an actress, and it looks like it's hopefully not the last we've seen of her. So there's a number of things. Like I said, it's mature audiences, not really for kids. I don't think this is available on the... If you have settings for just for kids to watch Disney stuff for the princesses and the Disney Junior stuff, you will not find this available in the same level as that. You need to have an adult login for this, I'm pretty sure. If you just have a general login that lets anybody watch anything, be careful, because this may not be for every audience, especially young ones. Maya is somebody who you want, who will sympathize with, and you will see her as a hero, but she is very much not a hero for a little portion, a decent portion of this story. And she knows it. She's aware of who she is, and it comes down to who she has become and who she's destined to become. Comes out of who she is, who chooses her as family, who she chooses as family. But for the most part, it's the adults that choose her path for her when she's young, and that can lead to a form of abuse, as many people know. Not in this story, that in the more icky abuse, but she is used for her pain is used in order to make her into a weapon, and she is a pretty dang powerful weapon. Fight scenes are pretty fantastically choreographed. The camera is really right in there as they move around the shots. I don't know how adept you have to be as a cameraman to be able to get those shots as Maya is battling a half dozen guys at a time. I'm sure there will be a documentary on here soon enough on Disney Plus. We'll eventually see that, I'm sure. When it's randomly selected. I do want to make a reference to some of these other actors in here. Graham Greene, you'll know him once you see him. He is, and whenever they needed a Native American character, whenever anybody needs a Native American older character in anything, over probably the last 50 years, well, he wasn't like older 50 years, but he was younger then, but these days, yeah, he's pretty much in everything. And there's a number of people from the show Reservation Dogs, which is a show that's on FX, which is available on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, it is a very mature show about a bunch of teenagers who are just living their lives in Oklahoma on a reservation. And it's one of my favorite shows of the past few years. So I highly recommend it. But it has a lot of actors from that show appear in this series, not the least of which are Devery. Where is she? Why can't I see? Come on, Devery, where are you? Come on, all the way down. Wait, did I skip over her? Devery Jacobs. She plays Bonnie. She is one of the main characters in Reservation Dogs, and she is also Kahori, who is a different Native American character that was just introduced for the first time, not in comics, not in the regular MCU, but in the animated What If series, Season 2. Kahori is played by Devery Jacobs. She provides her voice. So she is all over the MCU at this point. She might have had maybe Taika Waititi might have recommended her. I don't know, gave her a good recommendation. But there's a number of different people in here. I should have checked his name, but there's a guy who, during the final episode, he's kind of the announcer And if you ever watched Reservation Dogs, he is the Native American ghost who annoys Bear, the main character in one of the main characters in Reservation Dogs. So, but he's funny in both. It's almost weird to see him with a shirt on, which is strange. But once I heard his voice, I knew exactly who it was. I enjoyed the show. I think it's something that I know if you're not really interested in new cultures or women having powers or whatever, this will probably be another one of those things that ticks you off. And you'll write bad reviews about it because a woman has power in the Marvel Universe. I don't know. That's not the case here. She's a compelling character. I hope we see more of her. There are, again, this is not a show that is about the biggest punch or that wins the day. It is very much a different way of overcoming trauma. Let's just say there's a lot of people dealing with trauma, both the good guys and bad guys. And how do they overcome it? Well, you have to watch all 5 episodes, and it won't even take you 5 hours. It won't even take you 4 hours, I don't think. So definitely give it a shot. It's a Marvel spotlight kind of thing, and I think it's meant to say, hey, you can watch this without having to know and see every Avengers movie ever made. It does help that you see Daredevil, that you also have seen Hawkeye, but you'll get that sort of timeline fleshed out for you in the very first episode. And you'll see a number of familiar faces throughout this, so definitely worth checking it out for that. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. This one doesn't talk. 182. Normally my randomizer would talk, but it crashed because this iPad is so old. Send me money so I can get a new one. 182. Another documentary. Another one about ancient cultures. We're going at it with Albert Lin once again. We're going to watch Lost Cities Revealed with Albert Lin. I don't know if this is a series or just a one-shot, but there's a number of Albert Lin National Geographic type specials. So Lost Cities Revealed with Albert Lin on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.